Hello guys and welcome to my new video. The new set Attack of the Vine and so the new rotation is only a couple weeks away. We all know there are cards in Lorcana, they look good, they look strong, but there were always better options to play. And with rotation coming, those cards might get finally a chance to shine into the spotlight. Today we're looking at some of those cards, but before we do, don't forget to subscribe for more Lorcana videos. And now, have fun, let's go! So let's start with Amber, and after seeing some of the reveals from Attack of the Vine and the new Dual Ink cards, the team cards coming to the game, shifting might be something to really look into it. Metamorphosis is a 3-cost uninkable action card and says you shift a character from your discard for free. So at least in some Amber decks, this card can be really strong. Maybe not as a 4-of, but maybe as a 2-of. So if you don't have Metamorphosis in your collection yet, get it now, because I think Metamorphosis can make a difference if you already have those shift cards in your discard because you discarded it earlier or it already got banished and you need it later in the game to like, okay, I get it back from my discard, play it and use its ability right away. Another Amber card getting you cards back from your discard or rewrite history, a 3-cost inkable song, return a character card from your discard to your hand. You discard a character early on with Bobby Simuruski, for example, and later in the game you can play or rewrite history to get it back to your hand, play it. And if you have cards which have payoff playing songs like, I don't know, Jessie or like Babyhead, if you combine it with like with Ruby, or you play the Whisper Ariel, you play a song, you draw a card, or rewrite history could be a very good addition to those decks. So getting cards back from a discard, play it immediately, saving up some ink when you sing it. So this card can be really good with all the new discard mechanics coming to the game. The last Amber card for today, the Queen, 3-cost inkable character, 2 strength, 4 willpower, quest for 1. She has support, but this is not the ability why she's in my list. It's the other ability. At the start of your turn, you may choose and discard a princess or queen character card and to return a character from a discard to your hand. So with all those self-discard effects we have in the game, or we're getting into the game, you can discard a card you can later play from your discard for its cost. So you can retrieve another character, you can play the discarded princess or queen card from your discard then. So you can recycle those cards, you can get cards back, and this is a really good card, maybe for a low to the ground, yellow-green deck, yellow-red deck, with a princess type of build, maybe. I really like the queen. We saw it in some lists early on in the Fabled meta, but it never really got a chance to shine. Maybe now it's time to shine for the queen from set 9. Moving to Amethyst, and the first card in my list is Terran. It might be not an Elsa, but I think it can be good in some decks, and it's a viable tech option for some Amethyst decks. It's a 5-cost uninkable character, 5 strength, 5 willpower. He has rush, he quests for 1, and when you play this character, you can put up to 2 cards from chosen player's discard to the bottom of the deck in any order. So you can manipulate your opponent's discard if he's aiming for like retrieving some cards later in the game, some actions or songs or even strong characters, to play them from the discard for free, for example. So Terran might be some kind of tech option against those discard, self-discard decks we will definitely see in Lorcana with Attack of the Vine coming into the game. Another card I really liked when it was revealed, Colors of the Wind, 4-cost inkable action song, and each player reveals the top card of the deck, and then you draw a card for each different ink type of cards revealed this way. With dual ink cards coming back into Lorcana and a smaller card pool in general, so now we have only 5 sets we can play, and dual cards, I think people are forced to play them. You have the chance to even draw 4 cards of Colors of the Wind. Usually it's probably a draw 1 or draw 2. But what you also get is information. You know exactly what your opponent will draw the next turn, you can prepare for it, and you can maybe then play another card manipulating his deck, like discarding from the top or whatever, putting cards from top into his inkwell. And I think Colors of the Wind will definitely see play as soon as the new set arrives, because with, like I said, dual ink cards, Colors of the Wind can be a really strong draw card. And you have multiple options then to play in your turn. So you might ask yourself, is he joking? I might be, but the worst card from set 12 Wilds Unknown, the Dunbrook Family Tapestry, a 2-cost inkable item, which says this item enters play exerted, and when you exert it, banish this item. Each player shuffles all character cards from the discard into their deck. And with all those self-discard options we will get into the play, cards we can play from discard for free, I think Dunbrook Family Tapestry can also be a very, very good tech option against those type of deck. You not only like shuffle your character so you have more options to draw from, you can redraw those cards already been banished, but you already also take your opponent the cards he could play for free from his discard and get them back. So maybe Dunbrook Family Tapestry will see play. There's an enchanted card, so maybe the value of this card will also rise when it finally sees some play. Yeah, of course, I'm not totally serious about this card. Maybe some genius will find a way to make this card playable, but let's have your eyes open on Dunbrook Family Tapestry in set 13, Attack of the Wine. Let's move to Emerald, and I'm not very creative when it comes to building Emerald decks, but I always wanted to make Max Goof playable. We saw it in some lists sometimes, but not very meta relevant. It's a 3-cost inkable character, 2 strength to willpower, quest for 1, and when you play this character, you may pay 1 ink more to return a song card with cost 3 or less from discard to your hand. So with all those self-discard options we get into the game, Max Goof could be like a card getting you back those songs you discarded early on. You can get a card back you already played before, and it's a viable shift target for the legendary Max Goof. We will get to it in a second. So maybe Max Goof will find its way in some of the Emerald song-heavy decks. Maybe not my favorite character, not my favorite movie, but Gaëtan Molière, 4-cost inkable character, 2 strength, 5 willpower, quest 1, he has evasive, will definitely make an impact on some of the Emerald decks. Not only because he's evasive and has a good body with 5 willpower, but because of his second ability. Because whenever this character quests, you may draw 2 cards and then choose and discard 2 cards. And because his ability is on quest, you have all the ink available to play the discarded cards then from your discard for free, or like use ink to play them from your discard. So you could like draw 2 cards, filter through your hand, filter through your deck, and then play those cards you just discarded with the 4 ink or 5 ink you have available in this turn. So Gaëtan Molière will definitely make appearances in some of the Emerald decks we will see in the new meta, coming with Attack of the Vines. Like I said, Max Goof Legendary is in my list as well. 6-cost inkable character, 4 strength, 5 willpower, he quests for 2. You can shift it with 4 ink on a smaller Max Goof character, and whenever this character quests, you may play a song card with cost 4 less for free from your discard, and then you just put it on the bottom of your deck. So again, we can play a card from our discard for free. We can discard a song early on with some of our other options, play Max Goof, quest with him, and then play the song from our discard, like a damage song, a draw song, or whatever we have in our discard. It has to be a song, unfortunately, not an action card. This would be bonkers broken with like some steel damage actions, but still, I think Max Goof will definitely see play. People will figure out a way to play this insane card, and I'm super happy because I already have a playset at home. If you don't, get it right now, because before this card gets meta relevant and the price will increase insanely. So we are halfway through this video. Guys, let me know in the comment section what you think about the cards so far in my video and how they will impact the meta with rotation coming. The next card, we start with Ruby, is the Hercules from set 12. It's a 2-cost uninkable character, 2 strength, 1 willpower, quest 1, and when you play this character, you may discard your hand, and if you do, you can return a card from a discard to your hand, and it just say card, so it doesn't have to be an action, doesn't have to be a character specifically. It can be any card that helps you in this game situation and wins you the game on the spot maybe. And Ruby isn't known for much card draw, so you often do this with empty-handed, only Hercules in hand. So you can really like discard no card, get one back from a discard and play it immediately. And Hercules has been very good to me in different decks. I've tried it during set 12 season, and I think with all the self-discard options we get with set 13, Hercules can have a really huge impact on Ruby decks. I think we haven't seen Lady Tremaine in any of the meta-relevant decks so far in Disney Lorcana. Back from set 10, a Whisper card, 5-cost uninkable character, 5 strength for willpower, quests for 2, and she has boost 2, and whenever this character quests, if you put a card under her this turn, you can play an action card with 5 cost or less from your discard for free, and then you just put the action card under your deck instead of a discard again. And with all the self discard options we get into the game and already have in the game, I think Lady Tremaine can make a huge impact on Ruby decks also, because we can like play a removal song, we can play a card draw action from our discard for free. Imagine you have a character with a lot of damage on him. You play Ohanamin's family from your discard for free and draw a bunch of new cards. So I think Lady Tremaine will make a huge impact after rotation hits. The last Ruby card in my list today, Zeus, 5-cost inkable character, 5 strength, 5 willpower, huge body, he quests for 3, and the downside, or maybe it's an upside, this character enters play with 4 damage. And with all the damage moving cards we already got in set 12, based around the Madrigal characters, and we already have in game with like Ohanamin's family, where you can heal damage from your own characters and draw cards equal to the damage you've been healed, Zeus can make a huge impact on these Ruby Amber damage based decks, because we've seen a card like, I think it's a Sing Together song, 5-cost, healing up to 4 damage from your characters and gaining 1 lore. So if you pair it with the Isabella Madrigal, with the song, with the Ohana, you can draw cards, you can gain insane amount of lore with Zeus and healing his damage. And then what's left is a 5/5 body threatening 3 lore the next turn. So your opponent has to find an answer immediately for Zeus. And if you pair it with like I said, Amber, you can cheat out Zeus a turn earlier with the Willow. And I think it's a huge card. I wanted to test it in set 12 already, but it wasn't good enough. But I think with rotation kicking in, Zeus can be really, really meta relevant in the right deck. Let's get into the Saphire cards, one of my favorite colors in Lorcana. And if we really lose all our turn to ramp, we need to be creative to do this again and find new ways to ramp to our higher cost cards. And Splatter Phoenix, a card from set 11, could help us here. And you might ask yourself, how can this card help us ramping in turn 2? Because what Splatter Phoenix does is he has the underdog ability. So if you're on the draw, if it's your first turn, you can play it for 1 ink, but he's a 2-cost character. And he has ward, so he can't be removed with any action, send out of the deck or back to hand. And in turn 2, he can sing 1 jump ahead and ramp you up to 3 ink, which is the same effect like Celia Under the Sea, Celia Azure at Sea, or Tipo. And what Splatter Phoenix does also, he's threatening 2 lore, so even you don't find your turn to ramp or your 1 jump ahead, you can quest for 2 and threaten a bunch of lore easily early on. And yeah, that's why I really think Splatter Phoenix could be an option of getting new and creative ways into the Saphire decks for ramping in turn 2 still. And yeah, I really like the idea. I will test it out as soon as all the cards are known. And maybe we will get some sort of turn to ramp back to the game and back to our beloved Saphire decks. Let's stick with ramping, and this card here came into the game in set 12. What else can I do? A 5-cost uninkable action song, and you can look at the top 2 cards, put 1 into your hand and 1 into your inkwell face down and exert it so you can't use the ink right away. And if one of your characters sang this song, all your characters gain ward until the start of your next turn, which can be really huge. We've seen a lot of singers coming back into the game, and I expect also with the next set 14, a lot of singer characters coming back to the game. So singing songs was always like a mechanic, really strong in Lorcana, very unique and really strong. You can cheat out cards with paying no ink for them. And what else can I do? Does its job very good, because it protects all your characters so they can't be targeted by any actions or character abilities. and it ramps you. I mean, it's not what we're used to, like with how far it'll go, but still it does a good job. It ramps you up so you can play a 7-cost card the next turn. And I really like the card. I tested it in some decks in set 12 already. And giving ward to all your characters is huge because, like I said, your characters can't be targeted by any actions or abilities. You're pretty safe for one more turn and can do nasty stuff the turn after, because all of your characters will definitely live and see another day. So keep in mind, what else can I do will have a huge impact on Saphire decks. And the last Saphire card is Belle. From set 11, 4-cost inkable character, 2 strength, 3 willpower, quest for 2, and whenever one of your characters is banished, you may put that card from your discard into your inkwell face down and exert it. So like I said, if we really lose our early on ramping in Saphire, we have to do different things, we have to do more creative things, and maybe Belle can help. So we play characters in turn 1, 2, and 3, drop a Belle in turn 4, and then if our opponent has exerted characters, we can start like trading, and all of our characters will be put into our inkwell. So Belle itself is a ramp tool for all of our other characters, so we can like challenge into them, trade, and we ramp ourselves. And what Belle also does is when she gets banished, she will also see herself like being banished and going into the inkwell. So she's like kind of an inkable option for ramping. After rotation hits. We also have Cinderella in turn 4, but I really like to test Belle here on this spot, because if we really lose like our turn to ramp, we, like I said, we have to go different ways, different routes, and build Saphire decks differently as we used to. And let's be honest, guys, we can't do the same stuff all over again. And as much as we loved Tipo, as much as we loved Sail the Azeroth Sea, I think it's time for some changes and for some different approaches on building decks, and Belle could really help some Saphire decks in ramping. So we might see Belle in more meta-relevant decks. Let's see what the future brings. And starting with Steel, I think this card is no surprise to be in my list. Angel, back from set 11, 4-cost inkable characters, 3 strength, 3 willpower, quests for 1. And while you have no cards in your hand, this character gains resist +2. So we see if we have no cards in hand, this card is basically indestructible. But what makes this card so good is her second ability. Once during your turn, you may choose and discard a card to deal 2 damage to chosen character. So if we pair Angel with the right color combo and have the right cards in our deck, we can discard a card, deal 2 damage, and then play the discarded card with its cost from a discard. So this is huge. So if we discarded the right card, we can not only deal 2 damage and maybe take out an opposing character, but we can also play a character from our discard. We just discarded. So there are so many synergies with Angel. And guys, I tell you, I think Angel is around 30 euros right now. Get your hands on Angel right now before the price skyrockets into like oblivion. I don't know. It's just a feeling I have. Angel will be a huge impact card, at least in 13 and beyond, because Angel is just so good. We've seen it already in like Amber Steel decks. We've seen it in Purple Steel decks or Blue Steel decks. But with rotation coming, I think there are other color combinations possible as well. And Angel will be so good. So mark my words, Angel will be a high impact card after rotation kicks in. The second steel cut is Gizmo Duck, a 5-cost inkable character, 5 strength, 4 willpower. He naturally has resist +1, he quests for 2, and while you have no cards in your hand, your opponent can't play actions which cost 4 or more. So again, if we pair with the right color, discard our entire hand, play empty-handed, and live top deck to top deck, Gizmo Duck can make a huge impact because our opponent can't wipe the board, he can't play high cost actions for drawing, for healing, for removal, and Gizmo Duck always threatens 2 lore, and he has a good body with resist +1, so your opponent likely have to run 2 characters into Gizmo Duck to remove him from the board, so they can play actions again. And I think Gizmo Duck can be a really nice tech card in some of the steel decks if like high cost actions or action decks in general like take over the meta. So keep Gizmo Duck in mind, get your hands on it and test it already in some decks. The last card for today, kind of a comeback, because I fell in love with this card back in set 9, included in my No Dumbo Purple Steel list, and it had a huge impact back then. Lilo, best explorer ever, 3-cost inkable character, 2 strength, 2 willpower, quest for 1, and when you play this character, your other characters gain challenger +2 this turn. And the second ability, whenever this character quests, chosen alien character gains challenger +2, and this character can challenge ready characters this turn. So with team up card Lilo and Stitch coming into the game, she might function as a very good shift target for this card, but also we've seen so many cards with more willpower into the game and a lot of cards not having enough strength to take them out. But what Lilo does is gives your entire board challenger +2, and if your opponent makes the mistake exerting into your like 2, 3, 4 character board, knowing okay you can take him out, Lilo comes in clutch because she boosts up all your characters, you can take them out, and later in the game or the next turn you can choose one of your alien characters to even challenge ready characters. So guys, I think passing on Lilo, best explorer ever, is a mistake. She will make a comeback, at least early on in the meta, because boosting up all your characters to challenge higher strength characters is a huge ability, and I think Lilo will find its ways into more challenge heavy steel decks. And yeah, that's it for today. I will link an entire list of the cards from this video in the video description below, so you can check them out. And let me know in the comment sections what you think, what cards will have a huge impact after rotation hits the game and Attack of the Vine releases. So if you're new to the channel, I'm always happy about new viewers. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm super hyped to do more videos. So if you're new to the channel, just click on subscribe. There will be more videos coming. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Flokki.